Hello, everybody. I'm just going to talk a little bit about why diversity is important to the Arts Council, and then also to talk through what we might look for in an application, not specifically around diversity, but as somebody who regularly assesses applications across a range of different funding streams, some of the top tips that I have for applications. And as Hilary said, I'll be available afterwards to answer any questions. So I know some of you here have received Arts Council funding, but just for those of you who don't know, Arts Council England receives money from government with the aim of championing, developing and investing in artistic experiences. And we support a range of activities in arts, museums and libraries across an enormous range of different art forms: theatre, digital art, reading, dance, music, literature, crafts and collections. And between 2015 and 2018, we're going to invest 1.1 billion of public money from government and an estimated 700 million from the National Lottery to help create these experiences for as many people as we can across the country. So, why is diversity important to us as an organisation? Well, our stated mission is achieving great art for everyone. And the really important word in there is everyone. Our goals ensure that we nurture talent from artists, but we also ensure that everybody has a chance to experience the arts, whatever their background. As an organisation receiving public money, we have to ensure our investment is spread as widely as possible, not just concentrated on a privileged few. And it would be foolish to expect every organisation and project that we fund has to deliver work for everybody, but we try and balance the grants that we give out across geography, art form, size of organisation, type of organisation, and of course by the potential audiences. As a public sector organisation, we're subject to the public sector equality duty, and that means we have to foster good relations between different groups and also eliminate discrimination. It's written in our funding agreement with government that that's something we have to do. So how do we do this? Well, we have an equality action plan about what we're going to do, but any organisation that gets funding from us for a particular period of time, our national portfolio organisations, they have to have an equality action plan as well. We don't ask organisations to try and develop artists and audience from every legal protected characteristic, but instead we ask our organisations to pick 2 characteristics that they really think that they can work with, and to really develop those artists, develop those audiences over a period of 3 years, and to really embed the work so that the difference that they make can really be sustained, so that their audiences eventually become to represent the communities in which they live. But above and beyond our legal responsibilities, we believe in the creative case for diversity. There's been a moral case for diversity, a legal case for diversity, and even a business case for diversity, in that attracting a wide customer base makes your business more resilient. But we believe in the creative case, and by that we mean that people working together from a range of backgrounds, that cross-fertilisation of ideas and plurality of viewpoints will result in more exciting art. As we all know, I'm sure there are 9 characteristics protected by law, but at Arts Council, we also believe in the importance of engaging everybody, whatever their background, so we include socio-economic status as another important classifier. I've been asked to talk specifically about what makes a good application, and I'm going to talk about our Grants for the Arts programme, which funds projects for the arts. These are time-specific, up to 3 years. And it's on a rolling programme, so there's no fixed deadlines for funding. If you put in an application for under 15,000, you'll get an answer in 6 weeks. And if you put in an application over 15,000 up to 100,000, you get an answer in 12 weeks. So these can be for any organisation or individual using the arts in their work. You don't have to be an arts organisation. You don't have to be an artist, as long as you're using art in the work. So we very often fund school groups, community groups, local authorities, anybody who's using art in the delivery of that project. And we don't have any priorities relating to diversity. So your application won't be successful just because you come from or are working with a particular group. It's all about the quality of the work that you're delivering. However, as I said before, it's very important that we try to balance our investment so as wide a range of people receive funds as possible. So we will look at that as a balancing criteria. So I won't go into all the guidelines on how to put an application together because they can be found at our website online. But I do want to share with you some of my own personal top tips, which I hope you'll find helpful. First of all, tell us what you want to do. Don't try and second guess what we want. Remember that you're the experts in what you do and we're just funders. So tell us about what you want to do with all the passion and enthusiasm that you have for your work. And don't add diversity in as an afterthought just to try and get funding. It really has to fit with what you're doing. I see lots of fantastic applications where somebody really clearly articulates what they want to do, and then they'll say, oh, and by the way, we're going to do 2 workshops with deaf children. And it bears no relationship to the work that they're doing at all. And it sort of says to me they've thought, oh, the Arts Council will like this. I know I'll tack these on at the end. If you're working with a particular group and you know, that's what you do, that's what you live for, that's embedded in your work, tell us about that. But don't try and think that by suddenly working with a diverse group, that's going to swing it, because we can see right through that. Write in your own voice. Don't assume that because you're writing to the Arts Council, you have to write some kind of pseudo-intellectual art speak, because I don't understand it when I have to read the application. I had to translate. So if you're, write as if you're talking to somebody, write as if you're talking to me, explain to me what it is you want to do. As I say, we get lots of applications from community groups, and we had Felix Road Playgroup in Bristol recently got an application. They didn't write in that language. They just said, this is what we want to do, this is who we want to work with, this is what we think we'll achieve, here's the budget, this is how we're going to manage it. It was really simple, it was really clear what they wanted to do. So don't try and confuse your message, just tell us in your own words. Assume that we don't know anything. We can only assess an application on what's in it. So make sure all the information we need is contained within that application. I can't say, oh, this is a really good application. I just wish they'd put in about the fact that they do this, because I know they do this. I can't do that. I can only assess it on what's written down in that application. So make sure you tell your story in the best possible way and put all the information in that you would really like us to know. I've said show you're working as well. This is about giving us the context behind your decisions. And I just want to give you an example that happened recently. Somebody said they wanted to tour into the southwest, and they wanted to do 5 dates, but none of them were confirmed. That's fair enough. What I'd really like to hear is, I want to tour into the southwest. I think our work sits well in venues with a mixed programme, and also we think that our work, we can get audiences of about 200 to 300, so we're going to try and go to one of these venues. We've started discussions with all of them, but none of it's confirmed yet. All of a sudden, I've got so much more information about the thinking and the rationale and the decisions that have been making, even though the outcome is the same. So give us as much information as you can. If you're putting together a project, budget realistically. Don't just ask for the maximum available amount. It's amazing how many applications come in bang on 15,000 or bang on 14,950. Actually, if you're budgeting, what is the project going to cost? What have you got from other funders? And the difference is the amount you should be asking from the Arts Council. Evaluate against your artistic aims so you know if you've been successful. And don't overcomplicate things with your evaluation. As soon as you say you have to evaluate your project, people start thinking about reams and reams of questionnaires and engaging consultants. That's great if you've got a big project, but realistically, what do you need to know if it's been successful? Now, if your project is to create some work to get into a particular exhibition, then how do you know if it's been successful? You've created the work. If you want to create work for an exhibition that may change people's perceptions on homelessness, then what you have to do is produce the work and measure the opinions of the audience before they come into the exhibition and measure it afterwards to see if it's changed. And there's a huge difference in the amount of work there. So just say to yourself, what is the aim of this work? How will I know if it's been successful? And then what questions do I need to put in place to measure that? Evidence your claims. If you say that you're great at managing budgets, maybe you could tell us another project where you've managed that budget, what it was, when it was, and the size of it. So just give us as much evidence of your experience as you can. Give yourself time for plan B. We have a success rate of about 45% at the moment. That's not because we don't have good applications, it's because we have so many fantastic applications. So it means we can't fund everything that we want to. So if you give yourself a bit of extra time, you could always resubmit. And we have a really good success rate with resubmissions, people coming in, rather than throwing their hands up in the air and saying, I'm never going to speak to the Arts Council again because I wasn't successful. Actually, we have lots of people who come in and they do get funded the second time around. Has anyone here tried to use our new Grantium system online? Okay, so my best advice is this system is horrible. Do your application in Word first, keep a copy of it, and then copy and paste it into the online form. I have to do that with my assessments as well. It's a horrible system, so please keep a copy. And also consider the word count. Every section of our form has a word count on it. Not just have you put too much in because you're getting to the word count, but have you put enough in? If the word count's 300 words and you've done 50, you're probably not giving yourself as much chance as you could to tell the best possible story. So really think about how many words you think you should be putting in there. And just in terms of diversity, how are you going to make your work as accessible as possible to the largest number of people? What might you need to put in place to make sure it receives the biggest potential audience or the greatest number of participants? And put that in the budget, because I think that makes a difference. Those are my top tips. I'd also like to point out that if you need support in writing your application because you have a disability, we offer that support. We will pay for somebody to help you write that application, to help you put that application in an online form. We also offer access support to deliver that project, and that's something that you can write into your budget. So we're trying to be as accessible as possible. We're not perfect, we've got a way to go, but we are trying, and those are services that you can take up. If you want to know any more about grants for the arts, please do come and grab me afterwards, or please do look at our website, and I can go through it in much more detail. But I hope that's been useful for the moment.